Welcome back, everybody. I'm Erika.
And I'm Sarah. We are the Living Understaffed podcast, the chaos we can't clock out of, and we've just recorded for 55 minutes that we can't use in this episode. So,
we use our time wisely on this podcast.
Very clearly, our time management skills are on point. On point.
Here. Really. Sarah, how have you been understaffed?
Jesus Christ. That's a loaded question. We've talked about my job situation. We've talked about this a bunch. Me moving to Texas, I'm so excited. First of all, I love Texas. But second of all, I emotionally keep going back and forth between fear and excitement, fear and excitement, fear and excitement, fear and excitement. And then of course my anxiety and my depression really just provides joy to my life in the mental exhaustion that it is with this ping pong table inside my head. And so Erika and I just spent, the last 55 minutes talking about this prior to actually starting the intro, that I am emotionally avoiding the adult things that I need to accomplish in the next few weeks before actually packing up the U-Haul and going to Texas. And I'm like, or I could hyper focus on the podcast or hyper focus on this database that I'm building for work and just avoid everything else. I could do that too. It's totally fine.
I look like I'm judging you. I 100% would do the same thing. And I will be in a situation where I am doing the same thing. Please be like, hey, bitch, remember when I was doing that thing and you kept telling me not to do it? Bitch, listen to your own advice. I won't, but I need someone to tell me.
That's exactly it. I appreciate the fact that you are going to hold me accountable, but am I going to fucking listen to you or myself? No. Who do you think you are? On the
exactly.
On the flip side of us, I have now become a moderator of a podcasting group on Facebook, and I am so pumped. There are 90,000 people in this group, and it is all about how to help each other, how to improve, how to do things better. Here's some advice. I'm a brand new podcaster. Somebody help me with audio. Somebody help me with video. Is it even worth doing audio versus video? Blah, 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 blah. It is excellent, and I am very excited to be volunteering some of my time, which admittedly is also one of the things that I'm using to avoid the adult things that I'm doing. It's fine. But it is a very cool group. It's a very cool group of people. So I'm very excited to be a part of that as well, just on a learning level. Because when I introduced myself, they were asking for volunteers for moderators, and I put my name down. I was like, this is a really cool group. And I've found guests for the show in that group. I've found shows for Ty to guest on from that group because it's excellent. And so I talked with the moderator, advisor, the guy who runs the moderating group, and he's hilarious. First of all, we clicked on a personality level that on the mentally understaffed level, he was like, oh, haha, that's so funny. And then towards the end of our conversation, because we talked for an hour, towards the end of our conversation, he's like, so tell me a little bit about your podcast. What's it called? And I was like, oh, it's called the Living Understaffed podcast. And he was like, oh, I thought you were just being quippy. And I'm like, nope. No. Because, there's a couple times that I was like, I myself am understaffed at this time. And he was like, yeah, true. And I'm like, but also.
But also.
But also. So, yeah, it was a great conversation. So now that I'm part of that group, it is part of my understaffedness, but it is a piece of I would say excitement. Just because it is a good networking tool, and it is good to see and listen to other podcasts that I had no clue even existed, just because the podcast world is getting so ginormous, and we're a part of it. We are a part of that world, and I just think it's so cool. I think that us having this hobby is just, first of all, keeps us out of trouble a little bit, and while we're still terrible at time management, we still manage to somehow get an episode out almost every week, and social media content. And for those of you that don't know, we have now released a Living Understaffed journal. It was on sale until August 14th. But now I think you can get it for around like $30. So if anyone is interested in a Living Understaffed journal, please reach out because it is super fucking cool. I just got mine in the mail and I am elated with how cool it is. And also we talk about journaling and mental health on a regular basis. So if you are interested in starting a journal or even just to get started, there's also a planner version. I'm more than happy to set you up with that. So reach out to me or Erika on socials and we'll get you set up.
Yeah.
Erika.
Also, all of the money that you spend on this podcast goes or on the journal and the planner goes directly into the podcast. So it helps us like
correct.
Paying for hosting, paying for like Sarah just bought a new computer, like I needed a new computer, like stuff like that. So it is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, it's great. And also, you know, journaling is important. We've talked about this so many times. Yeah. Journaling is important and it is good for you mentally. So by all means, reach out and we'll set you up.
Yeah.
Another thing
I keep like
oh, I'm sweating profusely and I am wildly dehydrated from all the puking that I've done in the last 2 days.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just sweating. Sorry, I'll cut all
I
that.
remember this feeling. I know I'm laughing at you, but I went through the exact same thing. It's fucking awful.
It's the worst. And I feel like I feel okay in between everything. But you just get that moment that you're like, oh, I have to throw up now. Like yesterday, I hardly ate anything all day because I just kind of felt nauseous on and off. And I wasn't hungry. You know, like I just wasn't hungry. So when I got home from getting my nails done, I was like, oh, I kind of feel hungry. And my roommates had made some soup. So I was like, I'm going to go get some soup. And I made a bowl. And also I've noticed that on this medication, my stomach has shrunk quite a bit. So my overeating habits are detrimental. Actually, it'll make me puke if I eat as much food as I like actually want to. So my brain chemistry is kind of changing on how much food I'm eating and how quickly I'm eating. So that's kind of a good thing. But I had soup and I had not even a generous bowl of soup. It was just a bowl of soup, a regular bowl of soup, I would say a regular serving. And I sat there for 30 minutes. I was working on cutting the rest of the reels from Vanessa's episode. And all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, I projectile vomited into the toilet because I was running to my bathroom. Anyway, we are off on a tangent. Erika, how have you been understaffed this week?
Well, work situations. I'm just doing a lot at work. Which is fine. I'm traveling for work tomorrow for 3 days, which is fine. We're just going like 3 hours away. But that'll be good. But also there's a lot of things that I need to take care of that like I'm going to have to do while I'm down there. And they don't have any extra monitors. And I'm kind of a princess. I'm like, what do you mean? I can't have an extra monitor.
Rude.
Yes, I am upset. So it's just a lot of that. Like part of me is like, oh my God, I'm so busy. I don't have any time to do anything at work. I'm just like absolutely stressed to the max. And then the other part of me is like, oh, I'm so busy.
Yes.
So
100%.
That's also me. Also my one of my favorite coworkers, it's her 50th birthday is on Tuesday and I'm not going to be here, but I wanted to put together like a little like gift box or whatever, because it's her birthday and she deserves it.
Hi, I am Isley Rose, author of the Glitched series. Book 1 is glitched. Book 2 is shattered. The series is based on the premise that Spartans still exist in the world today as a secret civilization dedicated to protecting humankind. It will be a 4-book series. I am 44,000 words into the 3rd book. So it is my spark. It is how I'm getting away from my children and getting getting my spark back from having them. And I love them very much, but they suck the soul out of my body. So I am relearning how to love myself and getting some me time. So it's been great. I find that it's been a really fun process getting to know myself and to explore my creativity because I was a pediatric nurse before. When my youngest was 18 months, I was handing him off to dad and said, here, you can watch him for a bit, and just started writing again. And it was so much fun. It's been such an experience. And I really encourage women on getting to be their own person again, because being a mom is a huge thing and I don't regret it at all, but it sucks your life and your boobies. So, yeah. So get a good lifting bra and a good lifting husband to help you. Because I couldn't do it without him. He watches the kids while I get to go play. So it's fun.
That's great. So if somebody wanted to buy your books, where could they find you?
Everywhere books are available. Bookshop.org, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, IsleyRoseBooks.com. It is available in stores at Red and Rooted and Blue Springs, Katie's Books in Lee Summit, Basement Books KC up in Liberty. See, we got a Facebook. We've got Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Lemon 8, and I want to support local communities. So that's why I'm here at KC Book Beat.
I am going to tell you the story about my mother and her dating woes.
Is it okay for me to put it in the show, or should I not?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she doesn't listen to it, but I think it's hilarious, so I think you should.
Okay.
Okay, so my mom, now, to preface this, she is alive. She did give me her location.
Okay.
So, my mom lives in a really small town. She lives on an island. There's not a lot of dating potential there because, in my opinion, the men there are trash, but also there's just not that many of them. So she went off island to, she met someone when she was, cause like you have to do a lot of things. Like you can't do them like on the island. You have to go off island to like go to Costco or Target or whatever.
Right.
So she's off island. She meets, I don't remember how they met, but she met him and they hit it off, and he was like, oh, like, let's go. Like, I'd like to see you again. And she was like, okay. This man was like, just take the ferry, walk on. I'll pick you up from the ferry landing and we'll go for my hike. And I was like, exactly. Exactly. That's what I told my mom. I was like, please share your location. She's like, I don't really know how. And I was like,
you're going to learn today, bitch. Today.
I know. I was like, please do it. She's like, I'll do it later. And I was like the entire time I was like, Mom. And she didn't share it until after she got back. And I was like,
okay, well, first things first, she got back. All right.
Yes.
Cool.
But let me tell you this story. So she's waiting at the ferry landing. He pulls up in a van. It gets worse. Pulls up in a van.
Like a minivan or like a candy van with no windows?
Like a candy van.
I wish it wasn't funny. It's not funny. It's not funny.
It gets worse. One-eyed Jack is correct in this specific instance. God. She gets in the car or the van. There's a bed in the back. And he's wearing like sweatpants that were like stained and like gross on a date. She doesn't get out of the car. She still gets in the car.
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
Insane. I know. This is why I'm like, Mother, share your fucking location with me.
So she went hiking with him.
Yes. And he got super winded and couldn't hang. My mom is in, I don't want to say for her age, but she's always been a very active person.
And she does a lot of yoga. So yoga is very good for you. Yeah.
Yeah, she does yoga, she gardens, she goes for hikes all the time. She does horseback riding. She's just a very active person. And, she's definitely at the age where if you are not very active, it definitely is catching up with you, is all I mean by that.
Yes.
My mom loves to hike, you know, so she's hiking and he like isn't really catching up. Obviously, my mom was like, oh, no. But yeah, I was like, he picked you on a fucking van, mother? With a bed in the back?
Dirty sweatpants? Like,
insane.
Listen,
My
ex never wore sweatpants in public when we were married. Never. Until we got to, I want to say Leonard Wood the second time is when he actually started wearing sweatpants in public. And it was like a revelation for him. It was like, I'm sorry, you're going to Walmart in that? And he's like, yeah. It's been 6 years that I've been trying to get you to be comfortable. Like, what the fuck? It was crazy. So, but I don't give a shit if people wear sweatpants in public or not, but like, do they have to be dirty? Do they have to be like days old stains? Does
also,
it
if you're like going on a date? On a date. Because we all know people at Walmart, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. No.
But if you're going on a date?
No one has seen me as messy as the food line cashiers at the food line closest to my house. Like, correct. I go there right when I get off work, before I go to work, Saturday morning, greasy hair, no makeup, sweatpants.
Yeah.
Everything in between.
Yes.
But yeah, dates, I feel like you should put in a little more effort.
A little more. Now, on the flip side, because we have talked about this, right? On the flip side, it is the effort that you put in to show them who you really are. So maybe this guy was like, bitch, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. You know? Like, maybe. But also, no. Your mom should have been like, this is not the life for me. Goodbye. And she could have gone hiking. She could have bought her own damn flowers. She could have gone hiking herself and probably had a better time.
She did do that, though, a little bit. Because I guess he kept getting really winded and having to stop. And she was like, okay. And she just kept going.
Savage. Of all the things, like, there are traits that you have from your mom, and that's one of them. Where, like, she has the capability of standing on her own 2 feet. The choice is after that about whether you're going to long term, where you have the long term aspect and she doesn't.
Yes.
But I won't get into the psychology of that, because at one point I do have this weird, because you're my best friend, I do have this weird, like, I still want your mom to like me, even though sometimes we talk shit. It's weird. So, like, I'm not going to dig deeper because I still want your mom to like me.
Yeah. My mom, also, to be fair, my mom would probably really like you if it makes you feel any better.
It does, actually. It does. Yeah. Shall we talk about today's topic before we continue on this rabbit hole?
I was just going to say, we have been recording for an hour and 20 minutes because we're good at staying on
Gluttons
task.
For punishment. Yes.
Correct.
Same thing.
Sarah
Same
is
thing.
a glutton for punishment. So we have done like women in history, and we're still compiling a list because there are a lot of really badass women in history. But I was like, you know what we should also do? We should start another project. So
all right.
I think I was on, like, because I am this type of person, my Instagram feed and like my YouTube and like everything and TikTok, it's like science podcasts and like history podcasts or like clips and like educational stuff, because that is who I am as a person.
Definitely.
And it came up with like the Morrígan, which I know about in just a person who has a passing interest in like mythology and stuff, but not anything like super deep. So I did obviously not like a super deep dive because there's a lot to it. But I focused specifically on sort of ballpark, like what type of goddess she is, what she's the goddess of, and sort of how she was in the way Christianity took goddesses and sort of like flattened them and made them either good or bad, and not like the multi-dimensional beings that they were before. Like that whole like divine feminine thing. Like it's powerful and it's also nurturing sort of thing. Like,
okay.
Because there are a few that when Christianity sort of spread, it again, like they tried to incorporate the local traditions to make it easier for people to convert. So like think of like Freya or like Hecate in Greek mythology. The Morrigan is Irish and Celtic. I didn't really realize that those are two different things, but I guess they are. So like there's like a Scottish, like they're pretty much the same. It's like Roman and Greek kind of, from what I understand. So they are different, but it's the same goddess, but they have different myths that go with each one and different like attributes and perspectives and stuff. So I probably have a bit of both because I didn't do like a super scholarly deep dive. But it was.
Can we also talk about how Morrigan, the etymology of her name, either means great queen or phantom queen?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes, it is truly excellent. Also, the whole reason why I wanted to talk about it is because I've always found like the King Arthur myth, like that was my favorite story when I was a kid, was like King Arthur and the sword and all of that stuff.
Absolutely.
And especially like the one that we have is, God, what's his name? Something Malory. Sir Thomas Malory. That's the version that we all know. And he wrote it. It's very clearly like a Christian allegory, but it was originally like a Welsh story that they sort of turned into that. And there's like a bunch of different origins. Nobody really, much like anything, but the character who shows up in a lot of Arthurian myths is Morgan Le Fay or Morgan or Morgana or whatever. And I was like, are those two the same thing? Yes and no. Like, yes, in that she is a figure who is both good and bad, and her name sounds like Morgan, but they aren't really the same. Like, maybe in like earlier versions, like, the Welsh version of Morgana, and then it got morphed in the Arthurian legends, but she's not like when you think about the Morrigan, she is not part of like that group. Like she has her own backstory and her own mythology and her own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and this material also says that she's part of a supernatural race where she wasn't human either.
Yes.
Like,
so,
not Go ahead. Sorry.
Have you read The Mists of Avalon?
No.
It is, first of all, it's a great book. It was written in like the 90s by like, it's like a feminist retelling of King Arthur, like the myth of King Arthur. And it starts with Morgana's mother, or Morgan's mother.
Okay.
And she came from the island of Avalon, which is where like the end of the story, like that's where his sword came from. That's where like that's the lake that he rests at the bottom of until, So her mother was essentially given to Uther, who was like it was like an arranged marriage situation, before Arthur was born. And it starts by telling her story, and then it goes through all the events. So that was really, it goes through a lot. Like, obviously it is a book, it is fiction, but it is there's a lot of like gaps that are filled in with like creative license, but the story weaves in a lot of the mythology of that story before it was like Christianized. So that was really cool. It is a great book. Everyone should read it. But if you want more information or you just want to like read, because there's a shit ton of King Arthur books, but that one is really good. Especially if you want like the female perspective, which I for sure did, because if you really, as much as I love King Arthur myths, if you're just reading the Sir Thomas Malory, essentially all women are bad in that whole story.
Obviously.
like they're all bad. Like, because there was, I don't remember all of them, but there's Morgan Le Fay, there's Arthur's mother, who, depending on which story you talk about, is sort of like portrayed as like being willingly like tricked into sleeping with his father anyway. And then with him there's Lancelot and Guinevere, how she like they were supposed to get married and then he doesn't, and whatever, and I'm like, okay, whatever, if you're not attracted to women, just say that. Like
correct. God,
if you don't like women, it's fine, but like keep that to yourself, maybe.
Or go after what you really want, men.
Yes,
like
or that. Yeah. But anyway, so to the Morrigan, she they don't have like a origin, like an original, like they haven't found like the first one, which is like the like, the mother goddess, so it goes back really far, and she's like the first one, so there's a lot of weird different versions. Most of her myths were written down by Christian scribes, so you sort of have to take there was a lot of like epic poems, like Beowulf kind of, but like different, that she is a part of, and that's most of the information we have about her. She is the goddess of war, death, fertility, and abundance. And in Irish folklore,
everything I want to be in life.
I know. In Irish folklore, especially, like what I was reading, she sometimes is a consort to, I don't remember, basically the Irish, Celtic, Scottish version of like Odin. I didn't write down his name because I didn't think he was very important. Sorry.
He's probably not, if we're being honest.
But they were, they were both basically, they both did the same thing. But it was like symbols of her, or like their power was like a cauldron that could feed everybody, like Jesus and the fish and the bread or whatever, or the fish and the wine. Anyway, one of those.
The blasphemy in that entire statement just makes me so happy.
I don't
continue.
I don't know anything about the Bible. So.
Oh, Brenda, if you're listening to this, I apologize. I'm just laughing so hard. Anyway.
There's also like a staff that can like take life and give life. So like if somebody's dead, it can bring them back to life, but it can also take their life away from them. And then also it's sort of like the circle of like prosperity and abundance, and then like scarcity and famine is sort of all part, like it was very much like a circle. Like it is, those two things were not separate. Also like the goddess of fertility and all of that stuff.
The way that I've always loved the name Sonora. I've always like, in my head, that's always been my little girl's name, my first little girl's name. But the way that I'm now, like, her name will be Sonora Morrigan. Like,
yeah. Yes. Yes. She's
done
very
and
cool.
done.
Very cool.
My name is Karina. I am one of the owners of Freedom Literature. I'm the reader of our dynamic duo. My husband is the business mastermind behind it all. We want to bring literature to underserved communities, those that don't have a bookstore or only have like a major chain. We want to get books to them. And we want to focus on the local author scene. We partner with Kansas City Book Beat, and we are their South Central liaison. You know, we're working on getting a mobile. We want to get a book mobile up and going. We have like a trailer or like a bus that's going to house our books and stuff like that. We do like to focus in the smaller towns. We'd also like to push more central Missouri, like Osage Beach and Warsaw and up in that area as well. We also have a Freedom Literature book nook in Harrisonville, Missouri. It's above Headquarters Winery. We've got a little boutique booth there. We put our local author books up there along with our blind date with the books that we do. We are on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We haven't invaded the TikTok scene yet. We do post some like reels and we do some videos and things like that as well. We try and find events, crafting events, or if there's a bookish event or if somebody's having like an open house or whatever, those are the type of events we try and get into.
She's also, sometimes she's one goddess, the Morrigan, and sometimes she's three. So again, kind of like Hecate, how she has the three faces. It's the same thing, and they are all different aspects. So also, I looked up how to pronounce these names, and they gave me like 7 different pronunciations, so I'm doing my fucking best. So if she is portrayed as the 3 goddesses, she's Anu, Maka, and Bave, spelled B-A-D-B. That was stressful.
Listen to me right now, the way that I must have an Irish person reach out to me and speak the correct pronunciations of these will not only make me come, but also it's just such a sexy language. It's just so sexy. Plus the accent. Oh, yummy.
I'm a fan.
Anyway, the list that I pulled up has a different name in there, but it's the same concept. So do continue.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. I looked at like a shit ton of different articles and I sort of just found the ones that all showed up the most.
Correct.
The most common one that you see every single time is Bave, and she is she's the goddess or the aspect of inciting fear and chaos, specifically in battle, predicting death,
bloodshed,
omens. She's actually where banshees come from. That is where the name comes from, because
so what you're saying is this is my entire personality and I am one of 3.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. So this is that. So yeah, I was like, that is so fucking badass.
I love it already.
And then Anu is the mother goddess, fertility, prosperity, the nurturing part of nature, like the very, good part of
which also
femininity.
The article I'm reading also shows that horses are a part of this particular personality or this particular aspect of Morrigan. And when you think about because I've loved horses my entire life. And when you think about how horses are so in tune with the person that is in front of them and how they're like, they match your energy and they like help calm a person's nervous system. They're used like equine therapy is a real thing. Like, amen.
Yeah.
Anyway, do continue.
Yeah. And also I think cows also, there was actually, I think it was, I don't remember if it was just Anu or if it was the whole thing, but she's often seen like herding cows, and they were talking about how that is a symbol of fertility in Irish folklore. So if whatever it is in the story or like the depiction, they're herding cows, like that is a symbol of fertility, which I didn't know, but it is very cool. And then Macha is the goddess of sovereignty, war, vengeance, dominance, and control. Also sometimes considered like her own triple goddess. So like it's a triple goddess within a triple goddess. I found really cool. It was just like her, there's just a lot more about her. I didn't get into all of it, but because it's really complicated and I just don't have a good enough picture of what the mythology looks like as a whole to have a really good understanding of it. But another thing that I thought was really, really interesting is that she's normally seen like, if she's seen as the one, or even all three, she is like, yes, she's the goddess of war and chaos and bloodshed and like gore, like that part of like the bloody battle part. But she is also a defender. So like and sovereignty, like that is a big part of who she is. So if you are like, there's a theme where you have to be worthy of being a king. So she was sort of, you would honor her if you were like defending your kingdom. But if you were going and conquering, she was not the one that you prayed to because you are taking somebody else's sovereignty. She is a defender, not a
destroyer,
conqueror. Yeah. Which I thought was very cool, which I'm like, that makes a lot more sense if you're talking about like the feminine aspects of that stuff. Like, just, I mean, as much as like, gender roles are stupid, but like women tend to be defenders of, their family and their loved ones, and men tend to be more conquerors. But she's also seen as like an antagonist a lot, like just as much, like she can be an antagonist and also not. She's also sometimes seen as like a trickster, which sort of goes along with the like fairies and stuff. Like she is not considered a fairy, but she sort of has the same
realm of.
Yes. She is part of the goddesses that were absorbed by Christianity. So one of her aspects became like Saint Bridget. And again, like Anu sort of became part of that, but then on the other side, like the other aspects were sort of made like witches, or she was an antagonist, or just like the sexy witch in the background, the sexy dumb woman that tries to trick the male protagonist and can't. So and that is one thing that they do a lot, like in most myths. Like there's, again, women tend to be like flattened into just one, they're either good or bad, which is definitely what happened with the Morrigan. Secularly, she's part of the divine feminine. Like you're learning, like at least for me, like all over my For You page, which I think is kind of funny because I'm not like a witchy person. I mean, maybe my vibe is very witchy. I myself am not a witchy person. But like it's the same thing with Hecate, like honoring those like old goddesses or whatever, to like honor your femininity or whatever. So that's coming back, which I think is cool in certain ways because it's like honoring what is in yourself. Like women are not supposed to be like, for a long time it was like, oh, women are supposed to be like these things, and now it's like, actually yes, but also there's like all of these other like powerful things that women can be too, which I do like. And it sort of started with like the Medusa thing and like Hecate now and like Lilith for a while. Like, you know, like all of those like goddesses that were essentially just made boring by
men.
By men. Yes, exactly. And they also like in a lot of those, they were made like witches and this is part of the whole thing. Like, that's why like midwives or I don't know what apothecary people were called, but that, stuff like that, where it was like they like things that are actually documented. And again, I'm not like I am a person that believes in medicine. Do not get me wrong. Like, you can't fucking use calendula enough to cure your cancer. But there was so much like women dominated in childbirth in Europe for a really long time. I mean, they just still do in other parts of the world. And then with doctors, only men were doctors. And the mortality rate of women and children went up a lot because they just weren't listening to the midwives. They just weren't listening to them. So there's a lot of like knowledge that there used to be that was just passed between women that we just don't have anymore. And I mean, I'm not saying that those things aren't like, we can't solve them in different ways, but like, and obviously, again, like epidurals are good. Having a baby in a hospital, good. Having medical professionals is good. I'm not saying that that's not a good thing, but like, you know, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, when male doctors were like, oh, silly dumb woman, you don't know how to do this. A lot of women like suffered and died because of it.
Yes.
So,
and it was also the people who like I mean, we can, when you're talking about witches and witchcraft, you get into the people who are midwives who are using more, and this is like, you know, hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
The people who are midwives who were using more herbal remedies for pain management, for healing, for those things. That, oh my God, you're a witch. We're going to burn your ass on the stake. Like, excuse me? Like, what the fuck? So I think, and this is more of like a feminist rant, if you will, but the fact that women had that kind of like potential and men were intimidated by it and chose to use witchcraft as a way to control.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. It was like, and it's not even like, it's to their detriment also. Like, that's the thing that boggles my mind. It's like,
because there were their wives and their mothers and their sisters and their children that were losing their lives. And it's like, the bigger picture here is that the mortality rate went up because you chose control and fear over understanding and empathy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
or
God.
even just maybe sciencing. And this sort of moves into my other point, which is like, there is the archetype specifically in, like, if you think about like our culture and like, not necessarily the myths, but like the movies that we watch and the books that we read and all of that stuff. Like, even we talk about like the Bechdel effect, which it's three things. I remember two of them, and I always forget the third thing.
It's pratfall. No.
To pass the test, a movie or whatever piece of media you are critiquing has to have at least two named female characters who talk to each other about something other than a man. It serves to analyze. Oh, so there are only two things. It serves as a starting point for analyzing female representation, but not the definitive measure or quality of feminism. The thing about that is that it is shocking how many like movies do not pass that test.
Yes.
Insane. Even like
Yes.
movies that are geared towards women is crazy. And again, it fits sort of like the way it is now, the most women are fit into like the maiden, mother, or crone. Like that's sort of been a thing for a long time. You're either an old grandma, or you are the devoted mother,
Yes.
or you are like a innocent virginal maiden, or you are somehow defective or bad, or like not being feminine enough, or like you failed in your womanly duties, or whatever. And that sort of is another reason why it's so important to, as much as I don't necessarily believe in all of that stuff, like I think it is important to like make sure that we don't forget about these women in history who were really like powerful and strong, and all of the things that it isn't normally portrayed to us all the time, because it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter what you believe in your head. Like even if you know something's true, if you hear something and see something over and over and over again, it is very difficult to like keep that from like getting in. Like I know I'm a strong, independent woman, but if I never saw any other women around me, if I didn't have any mentors who were also like that, if I didn't have any friends who were also like that, if I didn't have like, you know, other people even show me it's possible, like that is a lot more difficult to like see yourself in a position like that. So that's part of the reason why I think it's really important. Because like when I was a kid, nobody told me about those women. It was like, oh, like, do you want to be a princess or a ballerina or like whatever, which whatever. But like every single movie I saw was like a Disney princess movie, which like is fine, but it's all about a man saving them. You know?
Yes.
So,
or having, I mean, there were very, very, very few stories about women who took care of themselves or saved themselves in the long run. Yeah, there were a couple, you know, but it's like the vast majority was this poor woman who couldn't take care of herself, and a man came in to save the day, and it was her true love, and it was this and this, and it's like, oh, Lord have mercy. Like that is not that gross.
Exactly. So that was sort of my like, I'll probably do more of these because I found it really interesting, but I just like, now that I learned about this and over the course of like all the research that I was doing, sort of like now I have a greater appreciation for those like goddesses, because it is so important to keep that at the forefront so that we can remember like all of the aspects of what it means to be feminine. I think there's a lot of like conversation about those two, like what does it mean to be masculine, what does it mean to be a woman, what does it mean to be a man, all of that stuff. But like, you know, what did those things like mean to you? What parts of that do you embody? And I think especially, I think every generation it gets better, but for us, there are definitely things where like if you identify as a woman, these are things that you should be doing. And if you're not doing them, or you don't act this way, or you aren't like this, and there's something wrong with you. And that's actually not true. Like this woman literally turned into a crow and would take your life and incite chaos and violence.
Or a hag.
And
chase you down and terrorize you.
Yeah. Scream. Literally screaming like a banshee.
Into the void. We just scream.
Yeah. Or turn into carrion birds and eat the dead. The
way that this goddess and I embody each other, it's
cool as fuck. She's very cool.
It's cool as fuck. So what do you say? We will turn this into a playlist on YouTube that is women in mythology.
Yeah.
So we'll do women in mythology and badass women in history.
Yes.
I mean, they'll play off of each other, but
yeah,
I like the mythology part of it.
Yeah, I just think it's really interesting. I just really like it.
Also, can we just throw out a request to anyone in Ireland or anyone who is Irish with a true accent that can reach out to us and just send us a video or a voice memo of how to pronounce everything that we pronounce incorrectly today? That would be excellent. There is somebody that I know on through my Twitter circle that is part of the podcast world. Maybe I can reach out to her and see if she will pronounce any of these things for us. Because
please,
first of all, it's hilarious. On a side note, like total side tangent, the first time that I went to Ireland, this was early 2018, I think, after I moved to Germany. It was my first trip outside of Germany, and I went with one of my friends. And we, for those of you who in high school were trapped in the very heavy love stories and movies that made you cry and made you feel emotions and all the things. P.S. I Love You, I probably watched 300 times in a single school semester because I was so in love with the story.
Yes. Yes. I think I did
so
too.
The main
that
character.
And Pride and Prejudice and Tristan and Isolde.
Yes. So the main character in P.S. I Love You, she's on a college trip, I believe. And she's out walking in the country. She comes across this Irishman. And it's Gerald Butler, who is just excellent. He's asking her questions about where she's staying. And she says, you know, she looks at her little notebook or whatever, and she's like, I'm staying in Dunlaugaharry. And like 100% she's just trying to figure out how to pronounce it. And he laughs at her, and he's like, actually, it's pronounced Dunleary. So my friend and I stayed in Dunlaugaharry for my very first trip to Ireland. And the way that I told every single Irish person that I came into contact that story, that I'm like, this is my dream. I'm in Dunlaugaharry. Oh my God.
Yes.
And I look back at that and I'm like, I'm such an idiot. But would I do it again? Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Out of all the cities in the world, Dublin is one of my favorites.
Me too. Me too. I fucking love it.
Amazing.
Yeah. I loved it. I also really like Galway a lot.
Yes.
But I really want to go to Edinburgh.
We've already talked about this.
Yeah.
Our first trip for a New Year's trip with the podcast will be for New Year's in Scotland.
Yes.
It will be. It must.
For Hogmanay, which is their New Year's. Yes. We do, truly. We actually have to.
And also, I'm going to be traveling for work, so bitch, you need to figure out your schedule. Like, let's go.
Yeah, if you get one in Scotland, I for sure am going to have to figure myself out.
You're coming with me. Yes. Yes. Shit. Like, we must.
Damn. Okay. I'm going to wrap this up because we've been on here for 2 hours. And
yes, please.
Hi, Sarah. How's it going? I'm going to send this here to you. So, listen, I didn't know the Morrígan story before this, so I just kind of did a bit of research onto it before I sent these. There's a really good YouTube channel that might be able to help you if you're stuck. The Irish Pagan School. There's a girl called Laura O'Brien, Lora O'Brien. She seems to be quite an expert in the Morrigan. So if you're stuck on any information, I reckon that can be good for you. But anyway, you just want me to do the pronunciations here. So 1 second. So the triad is the bive, is B-A-D-B-H. Sorry, B-A-D-B. Usually what happens in Irish when there's a D and a B, there's usually a H after that. So that's what kind of threw me there. So the bive, macha. So macha is that one, and Nevin. So what's spelled ni main is Nevin. So the bive, macha, and Nevin. So then we are looking at the battles. So hold on, Tuha. So the one it's Tuha de Danann. So I've seen a couple of people kind of saying Tuha Danann and leaving out the day, but it'll be Tuha Day Dannon. So Day Dannon kind of goes together quite quickly. My Chura. So that's the second battle there when you're talking about that. My Chura. So it's not mag or anything like that. It's my. So like M-Y. My Chura. So you take out the D, and that's how you pronounce that one. And then we are on to the Battle of. So that one is Ton O Kulnya. I know that was quite hard to say. So Kulnya. Nya kind of runs together. So cool. C-U-A-I-L is cool, like normal. And then yeah. So Ton Bo Cool, yeah. Okay, hopefully this helps. Any more you need to let me know. And yeah, Irish is hard.
Okay, that's it for us, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. We love you so much. Don't forget, we have our illustrious affiliates, Forever Storage, the OG, currently, where you can purchase our planner and journal, which are fantastic. You should absolutely buy one. Also, Everyday Dose, great. I drink it every morning. I have the matcha and I have the coffee, and it's delicious. I love it. And Primal Queen, also great. I say it all the time, I'm not a supplements person. I don't know enough about it to know whether or not it's like work or does anything. This one does work, does do the things. Truly fantastic. Remember to join our Discord. We will for sure absolutely not be forgetting our book club this month, because we are remembers of things. This month we're going to do The Wandering Inn. It is a web series by Pirate Abba, which is a conglomerate of authors that are all contributing to this story, and it's like a live it's still going. It's like a live series that keeps going, which I thought was cool. So we're going to read book 1. Remember to like, share, leave comments, send us suggestions, reach out on literally any platforms. We will respond to you. We love you so much. Without you, we would be plotting